Welcome back to Sports Overtime. We've got a special guest in studio, Kirk Cousins, one of the great quarterbacks ever to play in the high school ranks in West Michigan. Kirk played at Holland Christian, went on to star at Michigan State, and now plays for the Washington Redskins. And Kirk, good reason to be here right now. We're trying to settle the great debate.
That's right.
Which Holland Christian football team was the greatest of all time?
That's right.
2006, 2008. Let's hear your voice first.
Well, I was a 2006 member, so I'm a little biased, but we're excited for the opportunity to compete at Holland Christian on May 15th. Have my 2006 team and my teammates come out against the 2008 team that ended up winning the state championship and try to settle on the field once and for all who the best team is from the Holland Christian years, and should be a lot of fun. Now,
Holland Christian, you were only year 4 in the program when you guys made the playoffs for the first time in 2006. How did you guys make it happen so quickly?
Well, I think it was a combination of, good coaching, hard work. I think we were hungry. We saw an opportunity. We saw some athleticism and some potential, and football became a priority for a lot of us. We put other sports maybe on the back burner as the second or third most important sport and just dedicated ourselves a lot during the summer. And it finally came together our senior year where we were able to get to the playoffs, but ended up losing to a couple state champions in Muskegon and Zeeland West, so we never made it that far.
And then 2008, boom, they go 14-0 with A.J. Westendorp at quarterback, and they win that first state championship. Did you guys feel some pride in helping build that?
I think so, and I was just talking to A.J. earlier today, and he said, you guys really laid the foundation and then enabled us to go on and succeed, and he was kind in saying that. But what they did that year, they beat some powerhouse programs by double digits, and A.J., I believe, set the record for most all-purpose yards in a state championship game, and just a very special season, undefeated. So I think, undoubtedly they are the best team in Holland Christian history, and A.J. is really the best player in Holland Christian history. But we're gonna give them a run for their money come May 15th.
And this will be a 7-on-7?
This will be a 7-on-7. We're gonna have a full field. We're gonna have a full referee crew. Mm-hmm. We got our guys on my team flying back from places like Texas and Florida so they can be in this game. So it's gonna be as much like a real game as possible. And while it will be fun, we're competing. I'm not trying to come back as NFL quarterback to my high school and then lose playing the sport that I play for a living. So we're taking some pride in this. It should be interesting.
Now, will you have a jersey on that says, "Don't hit me"?
That's the advantage of 7-on-7 as a quarterback is I get to throw the ball every play, quarterback's dream, and there's no pass rush. So it's my dream. It's basically football's version of pickup basketball.
So will you scout out which guys are in the best shape defensively from the 2008 team and just go after the receivers?
There's no doubt. In the game of football, it starts to be about matchups and personnel, and you got to start picking on the weak links. That'll definitely be a strategy that I'm going to have to employ.
You won't have any game film to go on. You just got to probably look at the bodies and maybe make them run.
That's right. Make adjustments as we go through the game, and it's going to be interesting because they got a good roster. Some athletes. Willie Sneed the fourth, who the varsity coach at the time was Willie Sneed, who's flying back to help coach the team, which should be interesting. But Willie Sneed the fourth, his son plays for the Saints. Yeah. So he's an NFL player in his own right on the other team. So there's going to be some talent on both sides of the ball, and he's going to give us some issues.
Of course, A.J. went on to play football at Central Michigan as well. Correct. So a lot of talented players on that field. Also, you've got your camp coming up again this summer as well. How fun is that to work with young kids and give back like that?
Oh, it's a blast. I think it's, really an example of what being an NFL quarterback is all about, that platform and that opportunity to give back to your hometown, to the people you know and love, and to leave an impact on young people. So it's a lot of fun. And July 10 and 11, we'll be out there at Hope College with a bunch of middle school kids just having a blast.
All right. When we come back, going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL and Kirk and what's ahead for him. Welcome back to Sports Overtime. We continue with NFL quarterback Kirk Cousins. And Kirk, you give speeches all over the place, and I had a chance to hear one recently, and I was just really impressed with when you started talking about leadership and relationships that you have to build. Talk about that a little bit, the deposits that you make as a leader in a program.
Well, I just believe that leadership is influence. You have to have influence on other people. In order to have influence on them, you have to build relationships with them. So if you can't build meaningful relationships with other people, you really can't lead. And I think that's one of the foundations of leadership, is taking the time and energy to build relationships with other people. And oftentimes that involves, sacrifice and service. And it's amazing when you do that how simple leadership can become. It's like a bank account. You know, you work well as long as you're making more deposits than withdrawals. And the moment you have to make some withdrawals and you've never made any deposits, you're going to find that it's going to say, you know, insufficient funds. And so there were times where maybe it was a big game at Michigan on a 4th down, and I'm looking at the offensive line, and it's time for a withdrawal. You know, I need them to step up. And thankfully, there were a lot of deposits made throughout the year to try to build into them so that in those moments I knew I could count on them. And as a leader, you try to make as many deposits as possible so that when the time for the withdrawal comes, it's going to have enough in the tank.
How difficult is it then to make that transition from college, where you eventually were the leader of that Michigan State program, then you get to the NFL and now you got to step back again?
Yeah, I think part of growing up and entering the real world is there's a patience there. You have to understand not everything's going to happen right away. And so I was okay with, you know, learning, growing, watching. I felt like even now, 3 years in, I still have a lot to learn in this league. So, you know, I start to feel like I'm, you know, coming into my own in this league, but it's taken a lot of time to learn and grow and become a mature veteran NFL player. And I think I'm starting to get there. So, and I'm okay with being patient and letting things develop as it happens. So there's no doubt that I got a long ways to go, but I do feel like I can play in this league, and you know, hopefully this year I can take another step forward.
Will it be with the Redskins? I mean, are you solid right there with Washington?
As far as I know, absolutely. I'm expected to be back with the Redskins. I'm excited about that. You know, I have 1 more year under contract, and I'd like to finish this first contract with the same team, and then see what happens from there. Who knows? But I'm excited to be back with Washington and finish hopefully on a high note.
Is it difficult trying to, you know, maybe I know you're newly married, and how do you plant roots when you don't know what next year is going to look like?
You know, there's a lot of blessings that come with playing in the NFL, and I think one of the challenges then is the fact that you never really do plant roots. You're kind of always wondering what's next. You're wondering how long am I going to be in this city, and you wonder what the future holds. So it's not the most stable of professions, but that's one of the few complaints I would have. So we try to do the best we can with settling down roots, but we also know that you can get uprooted very quickly in this profession.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a great summer, and I know you've got camps coming up, and yeah, and we're looking forward to the 15th.
Should be fun. Looking forward. Hopefully a lot of people can come out.
All right.